Hey everybody, this is one of the days that I have been waiting for a long time. It is Chow Chow Day. It's the end of summer and you have, leftover tomatoes, peppers, cabbage. I didn't have to buy my onions, guys. Can't grow it all. But this is the day we're going to cut all this up and make a wonderful old-fashioned chow chow. Okay. I'll give you the recipe as always in the description box, but let me give you a quick overview of it. I have cabbage, onions, peppers, and tomatoes that are about 90% green, maybe just a tiny little hint of red on there. So I'm going to get started chopping all this up. Then we'll get busy. Cutting our cabbage up into small pieces. We're supposed to have it coarsely chopped. So we got the cabbage. Okay, just about got my tomatoes chopped. Some of the tomatoes were totally green, and then some of them, as shown in this cup right here, had just a little bit of red in there. They were barely starting to tinge and change colors. So I wanted to make sure that I had some that were totally firm. Okay. I am dicing up my bell peppers. I have mainly green ones, but I'm adding some red and also a little bit of an orange one in here for color. I've got at least half of the green, and I wanted to see how much red and orange I had. Just about there. By the time I get the orange one cut up, I think we're going to be at our 2-cup mark. Okay, I have all of my veggies cut up, and you're supposed to put them in a non-reactive container. So I am choosing to use one of my plastic deli buckets. Now folks, you can pick these up at a lot of delis. I'm not going to mention the name of the store because I don't want any issues with the store. You know how stuff like that goes this day and time. But anyway, you can pick these up at a lot of delis. They're food safe. It actually had icing in it. And some places give them away. Some places charge $1 or $2 for them. But this isn't about a deli bucket. It's about a food safe container that is big enough for my chow chow ingredients. Okay. I have all my veggies in there. Okay. Now I'm putting my salt in there. You can use canning salt, kosher salt, non-iodized salt. I'm using sea salt. Whatever that you like, put it in there and mix everything up really good. Get that salt totally distributed through there, because that salt is going to start pulling the juices out of these veggies. And you don't have all that extra liquid watering down your syrup whenever you make it. So we've got this mixed up. I'm just going to put a lid on it, folks, and it stays in the refrigerator from anywhere from 4 hours until overnight. So whatever you're comfortable with, but you put a lid on it, put it in the refrigerator. And then after at least 4 hours, we're going to drain it, rinse all the salt off of it, then we're ready to add the spices and cook it. Okay, it's been in the refrigerator for about 5 or 6 hours. So I'm trying to rinse this really good. I've been rinsing it for like 5 minutes before I thought about videoing it. Sorry guys, but that's okay. least it's getting rinsed, right? So I'm just going to rinse this for a few more minutes, and then we will get the vinegar and the spices together so we can get this cooking. I finished rinsing the veggies. Now folks, whenever you make this, be sure you rinse and rinse and rinse, and then you taste it, and then you may have to rinse some more, because that's what happened here. That's the best way to know if you've got enough salt out, is honestly just taste it. First time we tasted it, after 5 minutes, seriously, it was still salty. So I rinsed it another 3 or 4 minutes. So, okay. I have my apple cider vinegar. Now folks, again, don't worry about the exact measurements and whatnot. I'll give that to you. Okay. I have brown sugar. I have mustard seed, celery seed, red pepper flakes, and crushed garlic. And the garlic came down and made everything stick. Imagine that. Okay. Now folks, this pan is probably overkill, but I wasn't sure that my normal pan that I use would hold all that. So I figured better safe than sorry. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and I'm going to simmer it for about 5 or 6 minutes before I put the veggies in there. Okay, this has been simmering for about 5 minutes. And as you can tell, there's a lot of water that drained off of that. So maybe just squeeze it a little bit more. No, that's good. I left it sitting long enough. But always pay attention, guys. Don't ever just take it straight from rinsing it and dump it in something. Because, I mean, that's at least a half to 3/4 of a cup of water. Okay. So we're going to put this in the vinegar mixture. Oven's hot. Multitasking, guys, real life. Always more than one thing going on in this kitchen. Okay, I'm going to stir this. Okay, it's going to come back up to a boil, and it's going to simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get it jarred up. Alright, the Chow Chow has simmered down, so now it's time to get it in the jars. Folks, I just took these jars out of hot water. So you always want to put something that's hot or warm in a warm jar, and then have your water heating up in your canner. I know I say that every single time on a video. The folks that watch me on a regular basis know that, but if there is a new person learning to can, they may not know that. So I would rather take an extra minute or two and be repetitive, and I know that that person can learn that, because nobody likes to learn something like that the hard way. Packing that down in there. Pack it down again. We want to get it up to about that bottom rim on the jar. Do you guys like Chow Chow? Have you ever had Chow Chow? What's your favorite way to eat Chow Chow? Personally, whenever I eat it, I prefer it in a big bowl of pinto beans, or as my mom calls them, soup beans. Okay. You wipe your rim off. Always wipe your rim off on your jars, because if you drop something on there or get a seed on there, because this does have mustard and celery seed, it won't seal. You don't want to go through all this trouble and it not seal. Now folks, what do you think? Do you think that's a beautiful piece of canning? I do. I think it's pretty. ahead and fill these jars, and if the water does not come up over top of the jars whenever I get the rest of them in here, I will add water to put it up over top of the jars. This particular recipe calls for boiling it for 10 minutes. So once it comes up to a rolling boil, we'll set the timer for 10 minutes. And folks, we have just made chow chow. I hope you've enjoyed this simple recipe. Give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on that next video.